Are we live? Morning, Columbia County. Welcome to Columbia County Connect. Columbia County native Charles Kelly bringing us in here this morning with a version of Blue Christmas. We don't want any Blue Christmas in Columbia County. Everybody to have a Merry Christmas. Along that line, we want to remind you of the Christmas in the Park Festival tomorrow, starting at 10 o'clock. And if you look on the county website, there's all kind of activities. Our venue group has put together ice skating, who is Snowzilla? Do y'all know Snowzilla?
I don't.
I don't know Snowzilla. Tubing slide, a snow maze, a bouncy house, tons of things from 10 till 6, and then we'll have the Christmas tree lighting. Be singing concerts all during the day. From our last telecast, we had one question come in about why we are prohibiting horses in Evanstown Center Park. Well, it's just not a good idea to have 1,000-pound animals running around where children are playing and to tear up the park and make it a problem for other people. Now, we encourage horses. We have facilities at Wildwood Park, horse trails. There's numerous stables around Columbia County and riding arenas. But we just didn't think it was a good idea to have them in the highly populated areas, particularly where there were small children playing. One word about the Board of Commissioners meeting on the 15th. District 3 will have a representative. Congratulations to Gary Richardson, who was elected this past Tuesday. He'll move in to occupy that seat, and we'll have a full commission for the first time in several months. Today we've got a couple of gentlemen here with us that probably most of you know. If you have any dealings ever with the fire department, Chief Doug Cooper and Administrative Chief Jeremy Wallen. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Chief, you remember a few years back when, after two previous commissions didn't act on fire studies, it said we were not in the best shape in the world on fire protection with, what, we have 7 volunteer departments?
We did.
And we took to task to reduce those to one, mainly the one that you had at Martinez Evans. For folks that don't remember this, the fire departments back then operated on a subscription basis. We're residential owners and business owners. I think Jeremy contributed according to the size or whatever, whether it was commercial or residential, a fee. Well, the problem was that a lot of people didn't pay, did they?
I did.
I think you had the best collection of all of them at what, something like 80%, 70%?
We did.
But some of those departments, from our information, only collected 45 or 50% from the residents. And then we decided to go ahead and work with the volunteer departments. Chief Cooper had the most well-equipped and the most well-established department. I think we contracted or subcontracted with your department to provide fire coverage for the county. And recently, and Jeremy, tell us, we had problems with, or y'all had problems with insurance of your own, correct?
We did, with workman's comp insurance. We weren't able to, we were declined by every company in North America and Europe to get insurance, so we were getting expired. There was nothing we could do about it.
Well, are firemen high-risk people like roofers and some other categories?
We had always carried a fairly high risk, but our experience was, it's so few claims that we always got decent ratings, but they just decided that experience didn't matter. It's too high risk.
Well, for those of you that don't really know what the department does, we're going to talk about a couple of aspects. But one thing I'd like to bring up, if you'd show this chart here, tell us a little bit about your statistics. These are from January the 1st through October 31st, and you had 3,600 calls?
Yes, sir. We run over 3,600 calls, and we're actually running them as we speak. But if you look at those statistics right there, you're gonna see the majority of those calls are medical calls, first responder calls. We respond on life-threatening emergencies only, supposedly, and we have all of the equipment we need, and we've saved quite a few lives. We're in cardiac arrest.
Jimmy, you was telling me, well, earlier, we were talking about some of our personnel here being in training, that the new changes on CPR and the defibrillators, or whatever you call that thing, go over that a little bit about the different philosophy in CPR now.
Well, Columbia County started deploying automatic external defibrillators many years ago into all the facilities and all the schools, and we also worked with American Heart Association to try to encourage all of the commercial businesses in Columbia County to put them in as well. And because they've become so prominent in buildings with access, and because so many people are being trained on how to use those devices, that now the level of care that can be provided to a patient that's in cardiac arrest during school events, at any county facility, and then throughout businesses such as Walmart, which have them in place, they've actually been able to adjust some of the ways that you deliver treatment, such as training for CPR, because we've improved the type of care that's delivered from onset, witnessed arrest.
Now, if you've not had any training, you were telling me that these things are really smart packages.
They're very, very smart. They will, of course, we encourage everyone to be trained before you use a device like that, but those devices have visual and audible prompts that walk someone through using them, where to place the pads. They evaluate the patient, determine whether they need to be shocked, CPR needs to be initiated or continued. So the layperson that has the basic CPR training can use those devices and really provide great care.
So that machine will tell you if they really needed to be shocked or not.
Yes, sir.
And
then
it'll
deliver the
stand
shock.
away and not touch the patient or the distressed one? Or
Yes, sir. Have you clear away, it'll deliver the shock, and then it'll reanalyze the patient and to tell you whether to continue CPR or prompt the next level of treatment.
shoot, old as I am, I may just get me one of those and carry it around with me. Can I do that too?
You can.
Sounds like that'd be a good thing to do. One topic that very few people probably understand is what it means to have a very well-equipped fire department. Now, under homeowners insurance, Chief, and I don't know if it's, I think Georgia requires our insurance companies to take into consideration the ISO rating.
They do.
Now, not all states, I think, require that.
That's correct.
This is Insurance Service Office, which is a grading system, basically, or risk management system that looks at the fire department, and I believe it even incorporates something to do with inspections in our building department too, doesn't
It
it?
does.
How many inspectors you got, how qualified they are, and they assign a number from 1 to 10. And I believe back in our volunteer days, Columbia County was a 9. Is that correct?
We were a 7. We had made it to a 7.
But only in the Martinez Evans area.
Yeah.
And the rural areas with less equipment, less coverage were higher.
They were.
Okay. I got a graphic here to show you that we can put up on the screen. This is the overall fire ISO ratings in Georgia by county. And I'd just like for you to notice the amount of red counties. Those are the ones that has a rating of 9, and the darker, more maroon color is 10. Now, Columbia County is now a 4, which is a fair number of counties around. But I would say the 9s down through 5 are the majority of Georgia counties, wouldn't you, Jim?
Yes, sir.
And really, a lot of very populous counties don't have any better rating than Columbia County. And I think that's a tribute to what Chief Cooper and Jeremy and all the staff has done. When we subcontracted the first time with the county, one thing we undertook with our SPOS program was to build some new stations and buy some new equipment. Do you know offhand how many stations have we added since that time?
Well, at this time, we have 15 man stations.
15 man stations. And then, I guess, 10 or 12 years ago, there was just 1 or 2 man stations.
There were actually 3,
3.
and they were all in the
Martinez Evans area. And how about, I know we bought several fire trucks because I think 1 or 2 of those we bought was $700,000 a piece. That was a ladder truck?
It was.
How high a building can we service now?
AT1 has a 95-foot ladder on it. AT7 has a 100-foot ladder on it. And might add, they're both platforms. You know, we can take that right up to a window and get somebody
And you
out.
can have a fireman on the platform or in the
Yes.
cage to
Mhm.
either handle a hose or rescue people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these trucks also are capable of flowing 1,250 gallons of water per minute out of the master stream that's on the platform.
That's a long way from where we started together, wasn't it?
It is.
A long way. Just so you'll know, in some insurance companies, your premium on your homeowner's insurance can be reduced really 40 or 50% by the improved ISO rating. But I think that really depends on how much emphasis the individual companies put on that rating.
It does. And I'd like to add one thing, that class 4 rating at the time we obtained it was equal to or better than 92% of the departments in the United States.
Oh, man. That's pretty strong there, 92%.
And now, that could have changed. I haven't looked at the statistics lately.
Mhm. You mentioned earlier that you do a lot of medical first response, but you do go out and get a cat out of a tree every once in a while, don't you?
We do.
And anything else that rescue a dog in a storm drain or
We get ducks out of a storm drain.
get the ducks out?
One thing, Mr. Chairman, we're a full service fire department.
Mhm.
The dispatchers know if somebody calls, they need some kind of help, and we do our best to do it.
You do some things like this little gadget right here, don't you?
Yes, this is a smoke detector. It's the #1 defense that you have in your house in case you have a fire. It alerts you to get out. And we have a smoke detector program. We want everybody to have a smoke detector. And if you don't have one, if you come by, we'll give you one. If you're elderly and not able to put it up, an engine company will come out and put it up for you. Like I said, we want everybody to have a working smoke detector.
So that's the first line of defense.
It is. But these people have got to understand, if it goes off, just get out of the
Get
house,
out.
don't try to fight the fire.
Yeah. Jeremy, y'all you do a boot drive every year,
Yes, sir.
and you do some other things that philanthropic activities in the community. The boot drive, the last year, I think you divided up a bunch of checks. You remember what those, how much y'all raised in that?
We collected almost $80,000 during this year with our 2 weekends of boot drive, which is a phenomenal amount of
From the citizens of the
money.
county and anybody else that was
citizens.
driving through.
So it's wonderful to see people so willing to support us when we stand out there, and so we try to support organizations that at least largely work within Columbia County. So we believe strongly in the Southeastern Firefighters Burn Foundation, so we provided a check to them. And we've started working with Columbia County Community Connections. They work with a lot of kids, specifically in Columbia County. So not only through monetary donations, but we're getting a lot more involved in all of the different types of activities that they do, and that's been really great.
Is the shopping with the kids one of those activities?
Yes, so we're working with them. So we're going to be taking 22 needy children shopping in about 1 week to provide a Christmas for them, working closely with Walmart on that to have Santa Claus there, and they'll go shopping with firefighters and have some snacks afterwards. So it's really, really great event to be a part of.
You had on the list here that we might talk about some training and deployments over the other parts of the country. What does that involve?
And we're proud of the fact that we're members of the Georgia Mutual Aid Group and some federal level teams as far as rescue and different types of activities like that. And we have, during Katrina, we had some personnel that went out to Mississippi. The G8 was in Savannah. We went down and spent some time down there. And wildfires in South Georgia. There was flooding in Atlanta, a tornado in very North Georgia. And so we're proud of the level of training that we get throughout the state and nationally, and to be able to participate when these events go on, that we have the respect, nationally to be asked to participate in it. And we have instructors that through this experience that have been gained have become very well respected, certainly in this state and the region as well as the country, and they travel around and teach throughout the country. And so we're very proud to be known for that.
Chief, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it 41 years.
41 years.
42.
You probably started when you was about 12 or 13, didn't you?
Unfortunately, I didn't.
How did you get into the fire service business?
I was a volunteer firefighter,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked at Sidcox. And I just liked going in those burning houses, and they had, at that time, they had 5 employees, and one of them was a secretary. And so they decided to add a couple more, and I put in for the job, and I got it.
Been there ever since.
I have.
How many people you supervise now?
150.
And you also got some trained volunteers, I believe, that you call.
I do. We train our volunteers to the same levels we train our paid personnel.
And I believe at the time that we subcontracted with Martinez Evans for the county, prior to it becoming a part of the county, you gave all of the previous volunteers a chance to come in and do the training and be a part of the fire department.
I did.
Did you have much response?
I didn't have much response because they didn't want to follow our rules. We're pretty strict. We expect you to look professional. We expect for you to make at least 2 trainings a month, and we expect you to actually stay at the fire station twice a month.
So when you talk about manned stations, you have at least 2 people there 24 hours a day?
Yes, sir, we do. And several stations we're already up to 3 people 24 hours. And that's what we're striving to do.
That's something you've been trying to get to work out to add as you go along, to have more manned personnel on
Yes, sir,
at
it
each
is.
location. Jimmy, you got anything else you want to say about the fire service or your experience with fire protection?
Well, I think that certainly over the last 10 years we've seen a lot of change. It's almost been all great. And
Come a long way, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and it's just it's awesome to be a part of something that's expanding and growing and improving services. And so we're still under huge expansion, and I love every minute of being a part of it. It's very, very exciting and enjoyable.
We talked with Sheriff Whittle a couple of weeks ago and about the people, the first responders and all the personnel in uniform that we all owe such a debt to, that the fact that no matter what we have as far as amenities in the county, if you don't feel safe, they don't matter much. And all of these guys here, the fire department, the police department, the medical personnel, the emergency responders, all working as a group to keep us all as safe as can be had, and continually learning new things and new process and obtaining new equipment, thanks to the voters approving SPOS programs and thanks to the tax revenue. Chief, coming on the holidays, you got any words for the folks out there? These Christmas trees, sometimes the fresh ones get dry and get kind of brittle, don't they?
Yes, sir. You need to keep your Christmas trees hydrated, and you need to keep open flames away from them. We have seen cases where people's actually put candles on Christmas trees. That's not good. Actually, it's not good to leave a candle unattended anywhere in your house. We've seen quite a few fires caused by candles.
Chief, in general, if you're going out for the evening to dinner or something, and if you got an artificial tree, you're probably pretty safe to leave it on. And if you've got a natural or a live tree, if it's got plenty of water in the reservoir, are you okay leaving the tree on for a few hours, you think?
I wouldn't advise people to leave the tree on.
Not advise them, okay.
That's just not good business. But one thing that I found out that people do with these Christmas trees and Christmas lights on their house, they'll go get them a couple of these 4-way plugs that they can plug into a regular electric outlet, and they plug 4 or 5 drop cords into that receptacle. That receptacle is designed for 2 extension cords, and that's all it needs to be plugged in. And the extension cords don't need to be run under rugs or they can take any type of abuse.
Something that's hard to understand because people think there's fuse protection or breaker protection in all the circuits, and there is. But a circuit that's just slightly overloaded will continue to heat up and can cause a fire without ever tripping the breaker.
That's correct. And most of the times what happens is these inexpensive extension cords, when they have them plugged in like that, the cord will actually heat up.
Yeah.
And once that flames up and fuses together, it will throw the breaker in, but a lot of times it's too late.
So it's not a good idea to leave your house with the tree lit,
I wouldn't.
with a live tree particularly.
No, sir.
Okay. Well, you got anything else to add to our little time together today? I appreciate y'all taking time to be here.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
And they're here to serve, folks, so when the emergency comes up, you've got a good group to call. We hope you have a safe early Christmas month. We'll be seeing you again next week. Don't forget the celebration in the park tomorrow, 10 till 6, and then we'll light the Columbia County Christmas tree. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week. I appreciate that, guys.
Yes, sir.